Prime Minister Modi visited China and met Xi Jinping there. A lot of criticism is coming that one should never trust China. Looking at the history we have had, New Delhi and Beijing, the history that we share, China is not someone you can trust. They are always going to backstab you. They are always going to kill you in a sense at the border. They would do anything to encroach your land. How should India deal with it in the entire fiasco with Trump and United States? It seems so that China, in New Delhi, is moving towards China. Is it a good thing or bad thing?
So the criticism seems to be that India is trusting China. Is India trusting China? Is the question I would like to ask. You can't trust anybody in geopolitics, even your so-called best friends. Geopolitics is all about national interest first. So my national interest comes first, and wherever my national interest aligns with another country's certain national interests, in those matters, in those sectors, we can cooperate. But if you look at the track record of China, it's an adversary of India. We know that very well. We have gone to war with them in 1962. We had a war in 1967. We had clashes in 1987. The last 10 years, we had more clashes. You had the Sumdorongchu.
2020 also.
2020 also Galwan. So we know what China represents for us. And the Chinese military has published in the past that they would like to see India to be fragmented, balkanized. So we know exactly what China seeks to do. First of all, we have to understand the nature of the nation, right? What is China and what does it seek? What are its ambitions? China's ambition is to replace and displace the United States as the global superpower by about 2050. And it can't do that as long as there is another major power in Asia, right? So it would like to undermine India. I don't think Mr. Modi is at all trusting China. You have to deal with your adversaries also. I mean, look at the US and China. They're always communicating. They have summit meetings from time to time.
Despite being at loggerheads.
Despite being at loggerheads. Look at Pakistan and China. Even now that Pakistan is completely in the US camp, the Chinese and Pakistanis are still talking. Shahbaz Sharif still goes to the Shanghai Cooperation Summit. You have to be practical and pragmatic in geopolitics. China is a long-term adversary. As long as the Tibet region is under Chinese control, India and China will never have long-lasting peace. Tibet was historically never part of China. Right now it is under Chinese occupation, which is why for the first time in 2000 years, we have a common border between India and Chinese occupied territory. And that is the issue. The Chinese don't want to resolve the undemarcated border issue, the India-Tibet border. And that is the root cause of all the problems, right? So right now, why are India and China seeming to align to some extent? Why is that? Because both are facing tremendous pressure from a much more powerful nation, which is the US. The US has gone all out against China. Tremendous tariffs have been imposed on China. The US used to export semiconductors and chips and whatnot to China. They've imposed massive restrictions on that, right? And so much more. So the US is going all out against China. The US is going all out against Russia. And now India also. It makes sense for the three nations at the receiving end to kind of find some common ground. India, Russia, tremendous common ground. India and Russia have no rivalry, no issues where we have disagreements, major issues, and so on. India and China, almost everything is a disagreement, but maybe we can cooperate in some ways. The Chinese recently imposed sanctions that people don't know of, rare earth sanctions on India. So they are playing a double game. On the one hand, we meet and we talk, on the other hand, they are stabbing us like that. It's not like we are not aware of it. Mr. Modi is not a new player in the game of geopolitics. He understands exactly what's happening. But we have to talk to our adversaries also. We have to try and find a way to maybe establish some common ground in some places and maybe take the relationship forward. Maybe put the rivalry on hold for about a decade or so, etc. So it is not that we are blindly trusting China. We are cautiously seeking the way forward, and that is the right thing to do.